listening to the Best in Belfast podcast, and in some cases you may be watching the Best in Belfast podcast and with the Bimo podcast with me, Anthony.
Me, Jared.
What is happening, G?
Well, still on lockdown, mate, you know. Sitting listening to the Nolan show from 9 o'clock this morning, 9 o'clock yesterday morning, 9 o'clock the morning before.
Why are you listening to the Nolan show?
You know what? Just to hear all the fucking idiots ramble on and argue with each other. He's just a shit stirrer, like.
That's all he does.
And he does it really, really well.
He plays devil's advocate, I think. So he tries to come across as impartial, but
I know he plays his own narrative. He doesn't. It's not that he's impartial. He decides what he thinks is right and pushes that direction. Or like he cuts the amount of people he cuts off as well. Like.
I know, but I think it's because he's on the time frame as well. What's he got? Like an hour and a half, 2 hours?
2 hours, and you've got obviously your news bulletins and stuff in between.
Oh. Realistically, you need to be getting on, making your point in 90 seconds, and then off again.
And some people just love the sound of their own voice, not like us.
Not like us at all, sir. We won't be like, oh, we're very, very down to earth people.
You're right. What about you? What have you been up to? Hot tubbing away?
Hot tubbing away, look at my tan. We went work up there with a 4-lane. Yeah, just literally playing my hot tub, lying at the back in the sun, smoking cigars, drinking. Literally, that's all I've been doing.
It's weird times, isn't it?
I think it's starting to feel a bit
drawn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel exactly the same. I think that's what the next worry is if people start to get bored and start to, want to leave the house just because they're bored, or at the end of the day, there still is a pandemic. There still is coronavirus, and hasn't gone away yet.
I was listening to David Icke. Anybody who listens to like conspiracies or things like that should know who David Icke is, right? He was a footballer, and then in the 90s he proclaimed he was Jesus. And since the early 90s, he has been looking into the Illuminati, the Cabal, the New World Order, whatever you want to call them. And he's been talking about how they're trying to take over the world, what their narrative is. And a lot of the stuff he was saying is sort of starting to come to fruition now. How he was saying, we want to have a one world global state, how we want to have one currency, how they're trying to control everybody. He's been saying wee snippets along the way. The problem with him, he'll say some good stuff, but he'll say a load of waffle as well, right? And I knew he was going on this. There's a podcast called London Real, okay, and he's like a London version of Joe Rogan, right? Yeah, he is actually American. He's the guy. Brian Rose used to be a Wall Street guy, became a heroin addict, blah blah blah. Turned his life around, has this media empire now. But he was saying. David Icke was saying about the 5G and the COVID-19. Now, David Icke does seminars for 10 hours, right? And his books are like 700-800 pages long. I was like, I'll give this a listen about the 5G and the coronavirus. I was like, I actually had to listen to it in 3 parts. I can sit and listen to a 3-hour podcast, but that's 2.5 hours. I just had to take a break from it mentally because he's very clever in the way he words things. So he is, or how he says things. See when he's trying to drill home a certain point, or he's pushing a narrative towards a negative stereotype, he shouts.
Right.
So it'll be all calm, and then he'll shout and shout. But one thing he'd said was, there is no COVID-19, right? And he says 5G is a thing, and he's going to the 60 gigahertz and all the usual stuff that people are saying about how it interacts with oxygen levels, things like that. But he was saying about the amount of mortalities and the death rate compared to this year and last year. He says there's not that much of a difference. And I put on our Instagram page, Bimo Podcast on Instagram. Apparently in 2020, there's been no deaths of natural causes or anything like this, right?
Right.
Kind of what we're saying. But what he was saying was the way they're reporting the numbers is completely inaccurate. For some, I know Northern Ireland had a big issue with not reporting deaths in care homes because you have to have there's a certain way it has to.
I was listening to some guy yesterday. He was like something to do with the Swedish health organization. He said the difference between was it Belgium and Netherlands is one reports deaths including the care homes and one reports deaths without it. So that's why there's a big difference.
Right.
Go ahead, anyway. Sorry.
So he was just going on about Warden, and I was flicking through my Google newsfeed, and I sent you the photo, and I actually have thought this myself. I think we had touched on it before. The amount of people who are dying that have COVID-19, but many people are dying because of it. And he's saying, listen to the media, because the way they're wording things, and there was a thing on Sky News, there was an article come up, I was flicking through my news feed on Google just to see himself something to read, and there was one saying, coronavirus, 888 more people die with COVID-19 in the UK, taking the total to above 15,000. Total of 15,446 patients have died in hospital after testing positive for coronavirus. So, two things are. First one, more people die with COVID-19. Doesn't say because of COVID-19 they have it.
Yeah.
So they may have other underlying issues. So it could be heart attack or, cancers, things like that.
Yeah.
And then the other part, patients have died, a total of 15,464 patients have died in hospital after testing positive for coronavirus. It doesn't say they died because of it.
Yeah.
So there's 15,000 people have died, and then there's 15,000 people, just over 15,000 people who have died after testing positive for it. So does that mean there's 30,000 people that have died from it? It's sort of the same headline, but it's just the way they're wording it. And I don't know if...
Look, I mean, I think I get you have the conspiracy head. Looking at it, it's like a title and then a subtitle to me, and then even the one below it, it's the same story, obviously just reported by somebody else. But I think, nail on the head is you're right. It doesn't say it's because of coronavirus. It says, or because of COVID-19. It says it's people that have it.
Yeah.
So, but how many people in care homes? God, I know it's terrible, but are ready to pop their clogs and then get it now. That's what pushes them over the edge. But is it the coronavirus to kill them, or was it, was it just going to happen anyway? Or, I think it's at what point do you become a statistic versus, being a statistic of the coronavirus versus actually dying of some other means. And I think a lot of it has to do with, if it's labelled under coronavirus, there's probably a lot more regulations when it comes to funerals and stuff, so it's maybe easier to put them under that bracket. Could be something to do with that.
What I would be worried about is, I think after this next 3 weeks, what is it, the 9th of May or something, it's going to be lifted? 10th of May?
There's another review by that point, yeah.
Yeah, so another review. I mean, realistically, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, we have very low numbers compared to everywhere else.
Yeah,
very.
For the most part, most of us are staying indoors.
Yeah, but do you think, a lot of places now are through the worst of it? At this stage, they were expecting us to have thousands.
Yeah, 15
of people there.
I think was the initial number, and there's only 50.
At the peak. Yeah. Have they even reached 1,500?
I think we're just at around the 1,500 mark, yeah.
So that's about, what, 4 weeks into it, the lockdown?
Yeah, but I mean, that's providing that we've hit our peak, but you have to remember, people haven't been outdoors. if they start letting people do more and more things, there's going to be more deaths.
So then, at what point is it okay? Because if you're going on this premise of it's working because we're staying indoors, that means that you're not going to be able to go outdoors. When the only way to get past it is have an actual cure.
Yeah. So in places like, so again, like I said, I was listening to a guy who was part of the Swedish health organization yesterday. What he was saying is in Sweden there is no lockdown, right? So people in Sweden are just getting on as normal. But the difference is when we come out of lock, he says in a year's time we'll see what method works best. Was it lockdown or not locking down? But his mentality is that Sweden is going to have herd immunization, right? So because they're already out all together, all spreading it, the worst is over for them. Whereas with us, because we're all indoors, the worst is going to come when we get back out, and if there's no vaccine or no immunization, that's when it's going to get when we're going to see the real numbers of deaths, as opposed to when we're staying in and not spreading it. Because at the minute, if somebody has it, it's contained to their house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't know. I think you can't do right for doing wrong. I think everything's trial and error.
It is, but at the same time, you have to let people live their lives after a certain point. I think the Sweden mentality makes sense to me. Also, this one makes sense, but you can't have people locked down forever.
No, but I think because we've been locked down as long as we have been already, that I mean, if they do, I think Gardner was saying to me they were talking about doing like a traffic light system to go back in, where they'll open some businesses, then they'll open more, then they'll open the whole heap. Which is probably the best thing, as opposed to going right everything back to normal. Don't know, fun times.
Do you think they'll raise taxes after this? I think they will.
I think the cost of everything's going to go up. The cost of getting your hair cut, the cost of it has to, because all these people have lost out on so much money and there's going to be such a demand. Like my barbers doesn't have an online booking system, right? Which is something that's frustrated me for ages. And I love going to my yourself, barbers. It's like your wife, Sometimes you just have to go to. That's the only person you can rely on, But like, I'm dreading the day that my barber's opens again, because this hair is not going to get cut for about 3 weeks after that, because I'm not going to sit in a fucking shop with a queue of 20 people at a time waiting to get haircuts with kids running about screaming. Drives me nuts. Now, if they charge extra, my barber's in quite an area that, not that there's not money in it, because some people have money in it, but it's in an area where people
don't have a lot of extra money lying about.
Not a lot of like spare income yet. And
surplus cash, that's the term we're looking for.
What?
Surplus cash, that's the term we're looking for.
You're right. But if he puts his prices up, that's going to hurt his business at the same time. But he's going to have no choice. I think the price of everything has to go up. If you've seen the price of oil or fuel, the minute it's rock bottom, it's back into like you can get it for less than £1 now.
Yeah.
Diesel or petrol.
Sure. What can you do? We're not using it, you know what I mean? So
great.
Are you going to revert to shaving your own head?
I used to do it.
Before it was cool?
But yeah, before it was cool. And seeing people cut their own hair is hilarious. Like, I don't know, I'm sure Brenton, he was on our podcast last week, his brother-in-law Noel, he cut his hair and Noel cut Brenton's hair. It was a disaster. That's why he wouldn't take his hat off, But no, I'm not. I think I'm trying to let it grow and see how it turns out, because it's not often you get to go through the fuzzy stage and nobody see it really. Yeah. So
I'm letting mine grow. I've got a fucking hairband now, because
wow.
Whereas I'm thinking, if I just let it grow and just fucking slick it all back, when I'm sitting in my hot tub, I'm gonna look like Pablo El Chapo Soprano. Long slick back hair.
That's right.
I'm just gonna let mine grow, and then I don't know why people don't just let it grow, and then wait a few weeks because it's amazing. I've said this to people for years. Your hair makes such a difference to how you look, and the amount of people who have shaved their heads, and they're like, I've seen somebody look like Private Pale from fucking Food Metal.
I'll send you a picture because I genuinely don't care because it is how I used to look, and I look sick in it. Like I actually, looking back, I go, why the fuck did anybody let me run about like that? I was probably running about you at the time. You see if we can find it here really quick enough. I'll even show it on the camera.
Was it you with your wee diamond earring in?
Probably, man. You know what? I would rock the diamond earring again. You know, I'll be happy enough to. Come on, pictures. Sorry.
That's one thing I never thought about doing. Piercing my ears. I don't know. I just probably because I don't like needles, but the sign just went. No, I don't think men suit pierced ears, but each to their own. Men are starting to pierce their fucking noses now, so.
Man, that's. I don't know. Piercing's just one of those things. Just don't even know if this was the picture, but similar time. Let's see if you can see.
Yeah. I was kind of half thinking of the one used to be your Facebook profile photo of you and Grania, where you're like leaning in.
Fair enough. Probably similar time to that because I was wearing Scratch DJ Academy, which was when I was in New York with Carphone, which is just when I started when I was Grania, so probably around the same time.
Have you done any of the challenges in the house?
Which one?
Obviously, you haven't put to her. Any of them?
No, I mean, I wouldn't be like you and just be like, I'm not doing them. But
I forewarned people. Sean Quinn, God bless his soul, tagged me in the 5K one. That's why I put that video on the story. I was like, give me money. Give me money and I might do it. I fucking give money to charity. If you want me to go up and do something, fucking pay me for
it. That's it. Fuck that. Pay me. You're right.
Fucking pay me.
But what are some of the challenges? I haven't done any. I watch a lot of them on like TikTok. People doing stupid ones or even ones.
Don't even start me about TikTok.
Why you fell out of it?
I never got on board with it. I tried to get it on my phone for Aiden and I couldn't. And then just
you were doing it drunk, I hear.
What?
I heard you were doing it drunk.
What do you mean?
You engineered that on the Bimo and then you were making TikTok videos.
I was fucking at the fire pit. I don't know. But no, you have your 5K challenge, which people are fucking breaking the land speed record and doing them. Ross Barkley, the Chelsea player, was caught doing it. What he was doing. So I think Mo Farah, he's fucking champion runner, and people are beating his record. I think he holds like the UK record. But Ross Barkley beat it by like 2 minutes. What they were doing, they were sprinting.
Yeah.
And then stopping and pausing their watches.
Yeah.
And then going again. And there was some girl, I think the record is like 18 minutes, and some girl done it in 12 minutes apparently.
Was it not Britney Spears? No, I know she claimed to be faster than fucking Usain Bolt.
I haven't even seen her. I've seen Ross Barkley. I've seen somebody else because I was watching on the Paddy Power, the fan denial.
Right.
And just people putting up about it. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Did you see the Rory Stories video? No.
No.
He put up one where he's made a challenge and to do the 5K, and he starts it and then he runs out of puff. He stops his watch, but then he completely does the rest of it. No, and then starts it again.
Very good.
Throws the fucking water over himself and all to do the video. Starts panting and stuff.
Very good. What other ones was there? There was the pint drinking one. There was that one. See, this one doing my fucking head in. The 30-day music challenge. Every day you have to post a song.
I've seen it, and I've seen it by another former guest, John Garrity. He's doing it. So
I've actually scoped out people who are doing it and purposely not watching their stories. I'm like, no, that's going to be fuck you.
Sure. It's their own. People have to amuse themselves,
Well, I'm amusing myself, and I'm not hurting anybody. I'm actually funding people because I'm eating and drinking and keeping fucking places going.
What have you been getting? Deliveries, have you?
Of what?
Food?
I've had a couple of takeaways, but I'm like shopping. I'm just going out and bringing my gloves and.
What about that being one of the biggest lies about it?
What?
I think wasn't that you sent me the picture? That eating healthy, eating home cooked meals. Yeah. Made nail on the head with that picture, like.
PTs are stroking bastards. Charlatans. Fucking charlatans.
Stop eating out, cook at home, and you'll lose weight. Quarantine determined that was a lie.
There is one person. Well, there's a few PTs I know that are just very straight talkers and they're honest. See, if you want to lose weight, put yourself in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Simple. Burn off more than you consume and you'll lose weight. Obviously, be smart with the foods that you're taking. But fuck it, it's not rocket science even I know. I don't have to do a fucking week's online course. You know what I mean? But is there anything that you appreciate since you've been on lockdown?
I know. Honestly, I feel like time is a bit more precious. As cliche as that'll be in this thing, but like I've FaceTimed with family and stuff, and I've been out the back of my mum's house, but to see mum and dad, but it's weird. I'm obviously being respectful of the quarantine rules. Some people aren't, but my poor wee granny, she's been locked up in her house. She's over 70 and has one of them letters, so she's been locked in her house for weeks.
Jesus.
So.
She got an iPad?
She's got an iPad, yeah. She's killed it out.
Mm.
But I think that's something that I enjoy, not, no jokes here because I know it's coming. I enjoy not working though. I feel like people should appreciate that work's literally for work. Work's there to earn money. And people need, like, the whole separation, yourself, our jobs are quite intense. You don't get a day off. It was 365 day job, whether you think that or not. That's the way it was. I think having that burden off my shoulders is great.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Kaya in Virgin. I just sent her and the other guy, the new Virgin guy, message.
Her name's like the car and the pepper. Yeah.
The what?
Have you ever heard that one where she said that it's like the car and the pepper, Kaya?
Oh, no. But I was just like, one thing I've really appreciated is it's like a complete reset. It's not like a holiday, because maybe you go on holiday, sometimes you'll eat or do something to excess and then you need time to recover from that. Yeah. It's like a complete reset. It's like turning the computer off and turning it back on again. That's what I, like, one of the things I picked up on. Social interaction, like, I know you don't have to have loads of friends, but like the friends, me and you have similar personalities. You'll have a certain group of friends, but the type of people who would go to the end of the earth for you and just really miss sitting with them or talking with them or things like that. Like one of my cousins, Paul, I was sitting in my hot tub the other day and he rang me about a podcast thing, and I was on the phone to him for an hour and 5 minutes. Honestly, I thought we were on the phone for about 8 minutes. He just sitting talking with people and actually lifting the phone and ringing someone is really key, because I've rang our Mark a few times now. Normally, whenever I ring my brother, it would be for, say, once a month or once every so often, and then we would have a laugh. But we've been ringing each other a lot more. So we have the things that I would put in that I've really missed.
Oh, yeah, it's strange times, but I think when we come out of it, I genuinely think that people's lives will be a bit better. I'm hopeful that people's lives will be a bit better.
Did you taste the Rockshore? I recommend that you get.
What time is it? What time of day is it?
5 o'clock somewhere, George.
You're right, man.
I look like somewhere.
You know what? From being a vodka drinker, and I apparently I drink cider. So, well, sometimes it's not a bad alternative. The Rockshore cider is definitely like I'm not a big fan of it either. Never been able to drink it or anything. I know you all beat it down this, but when we went on your stag, obviously I got a wee taste of. I'm sure it was quite a weak cider, but I thought it was nice.
That's what you have to ease yourself into the stuff. There's no point getting into the strongest or the best or something. You know, you have to ease up to it. Tell me this, right? Have you noticed you've been on your phone more?
I've probably been on my phone less, weirdly. Now, I've been. You have to remember me. I've seen you looking at you have a puzzle there. I'm big into gaming and stuff anyway. So most of my time, I get extra time to game or the.
Right, fair enough.
The only time I'm on my phone is when I'm on literally on FaceTime with family or friends or on a call with family or friends, and I'm not sitting there going. But what I do find is at night when I'm going to bed, I'm doing that again. You know, or you're making sure you haven't missed anything from your 5 minutes off social media.
Do you know one thing that I've noticed, right? So we get back, we finished right on it. We're actually going to give up on it. And season 5 is terrible. Terrible. But 6 picks up and then 7's very good. We've gone to the blacklist, right? Where we're up to season 5 on it. Have you watched the blacklist?
Nope.
We got Sky?
Yep.
Go and watch it from season 1 to season 6. I think it's season 3 I think it's season 4. There's one of the seasons. Again, there's always one shade season, isn't there?
Yeah. It's like, but that season 3 of Dexter was a fucking.
Yeah. It's the same with season 5 in Ray Donovan. I think it's season 4 in this one. We actually nearly give up on them, but you have to persevere. And we're catching up on everything. So we've done Ray Donovan. We've found the blacklist because they only put that series on because the new one's coming out in a couple of days. And we're sitting watching them, and then obviously you got to go to the toilet, you got to make tea or whatever. And I'm sitting thinking to myself, when is it acceptable to go on your phone when your partner leaves the room? Is it when they're walking out of the room, or do you wait for them to completely leave the room, or do you wait till you hear them going up the stairs? And then when do you pick your phone away? Is it whenever they walk in, or when they're coming down, or something like that?
You definitely look a wee bit sus and you're going.
Yeah.
Even coming in, you're like, it's definitely sus, like, but I think if you're don't want to throw you under the bus here, so if you've nothing to hide, you know,
yeah,
whenever you want is completely fine, you know, just be open to well here.
But how do you feel if you went out of the room and everything? As soon as you get up, they lifted their phone to go on it, or they come back in and they're on it? To me, it's a wee bit irritating.
I think if we're watching like something and you get up, like say you get up to grab a drink or something for them or for the buffets, and then you come back in and they're on their phone. Sure, you're probably going, they're not enjoying this as much as I am. Fuck you know. I can certainly get that perspective, but I would say strange times.
About
yourself.
Do you know what I find myself? Well, I think if somebody's going to the toilet, it's okay to go on your phone. But if they're, like you said, if they're nipping into the room next door to come back, then don't go on your phone. But I find myself, I'm catching up on a lot of podcasts because I'm obviously sitting out in the sun a lot more. So there's times of the day where you feel like you have nothing to do. And I find myself listening to music a bit more. And I was thinking, so obviously you've the likes of the whole thing where Michael Jackson didn't they touch children. You've Gary Glitter, R. Kelly, people like that. Or even in like movies, like any actors that have done it. Take, for example, your man fucking Harvey Weinstein, the producer, right? Yeah. See what they have done. They've committed terrible atrocities, right? And they've impacted people's lives so negatively, right? See, when you listen back to their music, is it okay to still listen to the music, or does it taint it?
You know what? I think I love Michael Jackson's music. I think it's fantastic.
Kelly?
Anybody. Yeah, no, I could see that with R. Kelly. He's certainly got some tracks that I think are quite well. But it's the whole Chris Benoit thing, isn't it? Does the body of work outlast the shame? You know.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on the individual. I don't think that anybody should think different of a person, or for their own. Like I'll happily say I'd play Michael Jackson when there's people here. I wouldn't, It's just if the Thriller video comes on the TV, I don't even know if his music still plays on TV, but if it comes on the TV and want to watch it, it's iconic. It's too iconic, too significant in music for you not to listen to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that applies to everybody, but yeah, like I'm sure R. Kelly has like that Space Jam soundtrack was the song I Believe I Can Fly. It was huge for.
There's loads of songs. Like, and he was massive in the 90s. Obviously, we got him near the end of the 90s because that's whenever we started, where we're coming over the age where you were able to be independent and go and listen to things. But even at the start of the 90s, R. Kelly was quite big. You've the likes of Gary Glitter, the Joker, the movie, the Joaquin Phoenix one.
Yeah.
The scene on the steps.
Must watch that actually, and watch the Harley Quinn one recently. Go ahead, sorry.
So there's an iconic scene in the Joker movie, right? And he's on the steps and he's doing this dance. Right? It's a Gary Glitter song.
Right.
And Gary Glitter is a multiple-time convicted paedophile. Now, he didn't get any of the royalties because he's a criminal and things like that, right? But I pointed it out to Sinead because she loved that scene. And I went, that song, it's a Gary Glitter song. And then I showed her. I mean, what do you think of it now? So like, you've almost ruined that scene for me a wee
bit. I can see that. It's the Hollywood fucking blinkers, isn't it, really? When it comes to Harvey Weinstein, they don't give a fuck.
No.
Right? It's all about the cashies and whose pockets they can line, and he mightn't have got it, but I'm sure somebody somewhere got something for it.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Anything else you want to go off your chest? Oh, here. Do you know what I was watching this morning? Actually, and the reason I was had to blow you off for 10 minutes. Our Paul said to me.
Don't want for 10 minutes.
When I was on that 8-minute phone call that took over an hour, Paul said to me, it's called The Main Event on Netflix. It's a WWE movie.
Oh yeah, the one with the Miz and stuff, and I haven't watched it yet, but
class.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Well, another one for yourself and Aidan, because it's quite young, is the Big Show.
Well, what's the first episode?
It's that type of comedy the whole way through. It's a bit too childish, but
yeah.
What about wrestling? After everybody calling it a fake sport, being the only sport on TV.
Mate, I had this argument on that 8-minute phone call again. I've been griefed for years for wearing wrestling t-shirts and sitting up to 6 in the morning ordering pizzas. And I said, mate, it's the only thing going. It's the only thing going.
And Vinnie Mac has Trump in his pocket, don't they?
Right time. When do you think sports should return?
Oh, sports with the crowd or sports without a crowd?
Without a crowd.
So, indoor behind it. The problem is a lot of footballers are fucking flaunting the rules anyway. See Kyle Walker in a sex party.
Spurs. Jose Mourinho was training 2 people and then they were caught the other day there. Again, a couple of people out in the park training together. Now, they're keeping their distance, but they're all out training together.
When do I think sports should return? Jeez, I don't know. It's like when should the lockdown be lifted? It's just whenever it's genuinely a bit safer, or there is some sort of, the first antibodies, the first
So if you're allowed to have wrestling,
yeah,
right, that then leaves the door open for combat, any form of combat sport, realistically. So whether it's MMA or boxing.
How raising do you think Dana is?
Oh, he's fuming. But things like tennis, my God, how further apart can you get? Like in tennis, they should let tennis happen. Golf, I think they should let golf happen.
You have to hold the ball to serve and throw it up and smash it up. No, man, that ball's a fucking quarantine ball.
Have more balls. Do you know what I mean? What other sports? Snooker, pool. Again, you've got distance.
No, I mean, I 100% see where you're coming from. But in the grand scheme of things, you have to go, how important is it to do these things, or just for these?
Very.
Really? So one of the arguments on Nolan yesterday, right? It obviously became a whole DUP versus Sinn Féin alliance thing anyway.
Cemeteries.
So
explain to people before you go into detail.
Cemeteries in Northern Ireland are currently closed to the public. You cannot go and visit a grave. In the south, it's fine. Up here, it's not. Up here, Sinn Féin and Alliance are the ones saying, no, we're not having it, we're not allowing it. DUP and UUP are like, we want the parks open, we want the cemeteries open, people should be allowed to do it. And the whole debate seems to be, it's my right, it's mental health, it's thing versus prevention, basically. People are saying it's just one less place that isn't needed together. And then the obvious other said that the people that want it open is, well, the off licenses are open. So why not the cemetery? So that's the debate, really. But our food places and stuff are open as well. But the thing is that, like, some food place, it's an essential. You need that to live. Whereas a cemetery, realistically, I know your own opinion of visiting a grave, which I think a lot of people need enlightened with at the minute. I'm for keeping them closed. I don't think it's needed. I think right now it should be, essentials only. Like I said, I'm one of the people staying in my house, not flaunting rules.
The only way, I understand people are grieving, and at the minute people can't grieve properly, and grieving is a very important thing that you have to deal with. It's one thing I've learned from the past, say, 18 months, how important like a wake is and things. I used to think the concept of a wake was weird, but now, having been through it, you understand, it's actually quite therapeutic in a way. My dad, at the minute, I know for a fact he is struggling.
Your opinion on this, yeah.
He is struggling massively with not being able to go to the grave. He actually rang me a couple of weeks ago because there was a friend of mine lost his wife about a year ago, and he says, ring Kieran and ask him, is he able to sneak in like a certain way out in that graveyard? I mean, you can't in that graveyard. And I didn't even ring the fella, but I just knew that there's no way to sneak into it unless you climb over the railing at the front. But on Easter Monday, we done the Hatfield service for him where we got him pints of Guinness ordered.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the photos, and I even said that my cousins who were there, see, whenever we ordered the pints and we went, me and my cousins were sitting talking. My daddy was more interested in talking to the neighbour. My daddy, he was so uninterested. See, any other day of the week, my daddy would have loved that. Yeah. So I think because his mind is so preoccupied, he's just down. So I think maybe you should open them. Keep the hours a lot more restricted. Say have it in a 5-hour window.
Right.
But then it becomes a thing. Do you have somebody on the gate? And do you let a certain amount of people in? How do you track them people?
No, but the thing is
how do you approach somebody who's crying in a grave? Say that grave's really fresh,
Yeah. But how far? The thing is right. The prevention is to stop the virus spreading, right? So your dad may only live 3, 4, 5 miles away from the cemetery, fine. But somebody might live 20, 30, 40 miles away or longer. I think that's one of the arguments. Now the other thing is too, yes, there's people that visited graveyards quite regularly anyway, and it was probably sparse when your dad was there. There was probably maybe 1 or 2 other people there at most of the time, and I'm sure they were spread apart. But the problem is that reopening it sort of becomes a novelty now, where it becomes another place to go. So it'll be bigger. It'll be like Cemetery Sunday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to attract that crowd.
This is the thing that becomes very hard. I think they should open them within reason. Obviously, if you're traveling more than, say, realistically, if you're more than 20 miles away from a graveyard, you're not going to visit it that often. Yeah. So, you have to use common sense. Impose restrictions on distance and time allotted, and just say to people, look, if you don't, then you're going to get a fine. Have a police person there and time them. And I get what you mean. Like, anytime, pardon the pun, of our December, it's been dead, but you will get people going there for the sake of going there.
Yeah.
But I think it's.
Yeah, I think that I don't think people have the self-awareness or self-control. Some people need the grief. Some people need.
Yeah.
Have that, mental need to go to there, and I completely understand that. It's the people that don't grasp. There's individuals that need this. It's not your whole family doesn't need it. Maybe some individuals from your family need it. Don't know.
I would say impose a restriction on the distance within a 20-mile radius, and limit it, say, 1 to 6 or 12 to 5, and then if people are there more than 40 minutes, depending on how busy it is, if they're there more than that, fine them.
I think
because you have to have something to discourage people.
Speaking of fines, I think that's where the other problem is at the minute, is that the PSNI pick and choose at the minute who gets fines and who doesn't, because it's at the sole discretion of the officer. The guidelines set out by the Northern Ireland Executive, the government here, literally allow for travel to anywhere. If you have a holiday in Ballycastle, you're allowed to travel to Ballycastle to do your exercise. Because if you're going for exercise, that's completely fine. If you're going to visit your holiday home, you're not allowed.
But is it reasonable for you to travel an hour away to exercise?
Right. So you can see the word you use there, is it reasonable? And see the law that came out, it deemed exercise as a reasonable excuse. That's the problem.
But what I'm saying reasonable is distance. It's the same with everything is within reason, and it's like reasonable force. Is it right to shoot a rubber bullet at somebody who is out for their fifth trip of the day, or do you give them a fine? Or do you pull your gun on somebody who's told you to fuck off, or do you pull your gun on somebody who has a knife and is threatening to kill you? It's reasonable.
No, I totally get that, but in the actual legislation, it states that it is reasonable if you're going to exercise. It literally says those words. A reasonable excuse is exercise.
I don't think it's reasonable to get in your car to travel.
No, it's not. Logically, it's not. But because our government can't agree on fucking anything, they've literally left it open to interpretation. But with the guidance of if you're going for exercise or to give blood, it's completely fine.
Here's another one. Right, so this happened way before the lockdown. Sinn Féin want to close Belfast Zoo because they think it's immoral.
Right.
do you think the zoo should be closed?
But without lockdown, without coronavirus?
Correct.
No.
No? Right, okay.
One, because it helps the economy. Two, because it is a tourist attraction at the end of the day, and tourism is important. And three, it's a good day out, you know. Everybody loves bringing their kids to the zoo. I mean, I brought my niece last year and she loved it, you know.
So the Belfast Zoo has to get subsidised by the government. I think it's to the tune of about 20 million a year. So it doesn't really make money. It actually costs money.
Right.
I think that's what's driving the argument, but then they're putting it into it's not right on the animals. Because if you release them animals back into captivity, they'll probably die.
Listen, we've all watched Tiger King by this point. Joe Exotic is a fucking national hero to everybody. And the fact that everybody took Joe Exotic's side shows how little people give a fuck about the animals, really. But regarding the zoo's a fun attraction for families, and it's something to do.
But if it's costing the economy the tune of 20 million.
But I mean,
I'm near sure it's 20 million.
But you look at everybody else can have a zoo. You know what I mean? We're not the only country with a zoo. It's you look at Scotland has their pandas and stuff for their big attraction. What is it for us? Is it the giraffes? Is that what our attraction is? You know, it's just I don't know. It's always felt natural to have a zoo. Like I've never questioned. More likely, the people that work there want to care for the animals more than likely. So I think
definitely. But I think it comes down to economics and the fact that it's costing money.
I mean, I'm sure there's an argument for getting the cost down. I'm sure there's an argument for that, or for. I mean, you pay a fortune. It's expensive. Like it's not like cheap.
So, like Joe Exotic gives you the Tiger King. How expensive it is to feed like tigers and lions and stuff.
Yeah. Unless you're getting stuff free from Walmart.
Unless you're getting from Walmart, unfortunately, we don't have that. I just want to try and find the cost. Yeah. So there's over 600 animals. Right.
But here, anyway, COVID-19 has the number 19 in it, right? Because it originated in 2019. Did you know what else has a total of 19 letters?
Carol Baskin.
Carol fucking Baskin. There's no coincidence, like, is there?
No.
Have you seen the Carol Baskin, the videos your man Joe Suggs all put on TikTok?
Is that the song?
Whack
Your Husband? She loves it.
It's funny, like. Let's see.
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked her. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snapped it. What's happening? Carol Baskin.
Very good. I've heard it. The song singing.
Here, that's why we've got a wee bit of time to fill. You know, Crust Pizza Company are doing that box.
Sorry, it's not 20 million. It actually loses £1 million a year roughly.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's worth it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just giving you a bit of filler to let you know that Crust, on the Glen Road, we're not sponsored by Crust. But if Crust or Pizza Guys want to sponsor us, fair enough. They're doing that pizza box. I think it's a smaller version for $5. Not bad if you want to wait or something.
I'll see how the pizza that one off and goes.
Oh, that's right. You want a pizza off Crust?
Sinead's friend from Cork nominated it. But did you see? I'll not say who it was. One of them said, "Don't buy the cheap imitation."
Yeah, I seen it. I was actually laughing when I seen it.
Although he's fairly upped his prices, hasn't he? From £13, including a £10 voucher, up to £16.
No.
Well, that's if you want the voucher. If you don't want the voucher, it's 16.
You know what? Can't knock him for his acumen, like, you know. He knows how to make a few quid.
Why doesn't he just open it and do delivery like everybody else?
He's probably making more money doing this and not having to operate machines and everything anyway.
Maybe. But
he's not. I think he's got like maybe 2 staff members plus himself.
I've seen a few people commenting underneath it weren't happy with him.
What?
A few people, in the comment section weren't very happy with him, but
I mean, if you do 1,000 of them a week over the weekend, at 20 quid a touch or 15 quid a touch, you're doing alright, like.
Well, the thing is, whenever it opens again, everybody uses their free voucher.
I guess. Mine's sitting in the drawer over there, like.
Well, we have 2 of them for sitting on top of the microwave, so.
Here, I wonder, can you go down? They are doing ones that you can collect. I wonder, can you go down and use them?
No, it's after the lockdown's lifted, I'm near sure it said.
Did it?
Yeah, sure.
If they're there.
But the pizzas were great.
Mate, mine was fantastic.
Ours were lovely. I love the wee pizza baguettes they do. Did you ever get there? Was it? No, but you put me on them, wasn't it?
The taco breads, we got them. Then maybe come up there.
Sinead loved it. Right. Well, I've had enough of your shit.
I've had enough of your shit, but you know what? We'll continue this another day and we'll talk about the Zulus and the quid and all that.
Right, okay.
Fuck Carol Baskin.
Fuck Carol Baskin.